Welcome everybody to uSTADIUM Fantasy Live Week 15 Fantasy Playoffs Week 1. I'm your host Chris, and with me as always is Stefan, the Bearish Bomber himself, getting ready for another exciting week of fantasy football. Stefan, how you doing, big guy?
I'll tell you what, when you start off Thursday night and you have Lockett versus Metcalf, you're fine because, they equal out. And then on Saturday, you have Jonathan Taylor you're going against, and he goes out.
Oof.
And the guy benches George Kittle. And you're like,
Yeah,
so my week has been good. It's
moving on.
it's a good feeling when you're not getting blown out by two guys that you're scared of all season.
Yeah.
So I'm
Pause.
good.
We are here. I'm facing you in one of the week playoff matchups here in our Dynasty League.
Oh, yeah.
I'm currently projected to beat you by, I think, 20 points.
No, 15.
15. You had it a little bit rough. You lost your QBs there. And then I snaked Brock Purdy for $3 on you.
That's the worst. That's, I think, the worst bad beat I've had in a long time.
And he's finishing as a QB1 since then, week in and week out. He would have been a good help for you. We saw some big matchups already. 4 games have been played in the NFL. We had the San Francisco 49ers play on Thursday. And then yesterday we had some exciting games. I mean, the guys that are clamoring of the NFL being rigged are loud and proud. Last night with the Colts and Minnesota game, the Colts up 33-0 in the first half. The devastating injury to Jonathan Taylor, to all the Jonathan Taylor owners out there that start him. I mean, you have to start Jonathan Taylor. If he's in that game, I think that game kind of goes the other way there for the Colts. He absolutely shuts down. The game script couldn't have been more perfect for Jonathan Taylor, but instead he caught a pass and he left with an ankle injury shortly after that in the first quarter. Michael Pittman ended up having a decent day. The other two running backs there, Deion Jackson and Zach Moss, kind of split the load. They were decent, but most likely no one started those guys, so the points were useless. Some other big performers. We had Josh Allen so far as the QB1. What a game it was in Miami. The last second field goal. Oh, sorry, in Buffalo versus Miami, I meant. Sorry. The last second field goal to literally ice the game in the middle of a snowstorm. Those are the games you wish you were at. I mean, they were throwing snowballs.
Every touchdown.
Like if you're a Miami fan, you're probably throwing snowballs in the hopes that the Dolphins get a 15-yard penalty. But the only issue with that is you're surrounded by Buffalo fans. And I've been to Buffalo to watch the Saints play Buffalo, and it was fun. I had no real issues, but I was in the washroom standing in line to use the trough there in that used to be Ralph Wilson Stadium. And the guy beside me is like, "Oh, we got a Saints fan here." He's like, "Everybody, we got a Saints fan here. Let's piss on his feet." And I was just like, "Man, what are you doing to me?" So I can only imagine what they do if you were trying to get them a 15-yard penalty.
Oh my God.
Needless to say, my feet were dry, so I didn't have to worry about that too much. But
shout out R. Kelly.
Yeah. But some of the big producers so far on the week: Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins. Ended up saving his week, helping fantasy managers in that second half. KJ Osborne right now is the wide receiver 1 in 0.5 PPR formats. He absolutely balled out. I'm excited as a dynasty owner of KJ Osborne to see what he's going to do throughout his rest of his career. Dalvin Cook currently RB1. Justin Jefferson is inevitable week in, week out. He's going to be putting up points. The route he ran for the touchdown, where he went in, out, and then back out and up, it was just a thing of beauty, especially against one of the best corners in the game, and Stephon Gilmore. George Kittle, tight end 1 at the moment. Big day, 2 tutties. If you sat him like your opponent did, man, I feel bad. Who did he start instead of George Kittle there?
Mark Andrews. And then he put Alan Lazard at his. So it goes running back. It was quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end / receiver flex, and then tight end, and then regular flex.
Yeah.
So he had put Alan Lazard, Andrews. He had benched James Cook.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm looking. I'm like, oh my god! You know when you've dodged like a bullet. I felt like Neo from the Matrix in this week. I just was like, JT,
dodging those fantasy
Kittle,
points. Yeah.
Cook.
Well, the Kittle one's just, I mean, the previous 3 games, he put up 4, 3, and 4. You know, you're chasing Mark Andrews. We've seen Tyler Huntley hyper target Mark Andrews when he's been the starter for the Baltimore Ravens, but it just hasn't been the case this season. Kittle, 93 yards, 4 catches on 5 targets, 2 touchdowns, the big number there. Indianapolis Colts right now, the team DST won, even though they lost.
What do they finish with? Like, what was the?
I got it here on 23 fantasy points.
Jeez,
so.
that's 10 more. That's 13 more points you could ever ask for.
Yeah, but like the own percentage is very small, so not a lot of people own the Indianapolis Colts versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Also,
Christian
the
McCaffrey,
kicker.
The kicker, McLaughlin had McLaughlin big day, 21 fantasy points. Christian McCaffrey, 22.8 half-point PPR fantasy points. The guy, I think he had by the end of the first quarter 11 or 12 touches, 60 yards, and he ended up having a big day. Jalen Waddle saved his day with that beautiful touchdown there, the long run. Dawson Knox, another big day for him, tight end. 2 decent day at 18.1 fantasy points. Tyreek Hill, 17.4 fantasy points. You know, another, in Tyreek Hill, another one of those guys that are inevitable, going to be over 15 points.
He's a monster.
Weeks. He's a monster. I have KJ Osborne in my 32-team league. Sadly, I missed the playoffs. That's a tough one. 32-team league, man. KJ Osborne is a hold there, especially with Adam Thielen getting up in age. And then one of the guys that I hoped you left on your bench, but you put him into your lineup was Raheem Mostert, 100 yards by the first quarter.
That is insane. I'm sorry.
Yards that is at the end of the first quarter. What's up, Plex? Thank you for tuning in.
What's more crazy though? What's not crazy? What's like? Is it Mostert 100 yards in the first quarter or McCaffrey's 5 catches and 6 carries?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mostert there. I'm gonna go Mostert.
Also, we're forgetting one of the guys who came back and had a very quiet game on the ground in the middle of the 2 games that we had, the Vikings and the Buffalo game. We had J.K. Dobbins going off for people.
Dobbins, another 100 yards.
He looks like he's back. I mean, he looks healthy. He looks.
Yeah, because the game before he kind of looked a little hobbled, making that big run.
Oh yeah.
But then yesterday he did not look hobbled at all, man. And once he gets going, once he gets that cutaway, breakaway speed back up to where that top end that he can be, that run that he had there is going to be a touchdown. You ain't catching that kid once he gets back to 100%. So
league winner.
Literally,
he's gonna be
Dobbins. Yep. I agree there. It's crazy. Dobbins and Edwards averaged 8 yards per carry. I know. That was one of the big things I saw on Twitter was, what are these guys doing? What is Greg Roman doing? Like, you have against probably the league's worst rush defense since a long time in the Cleveland Browns, and you're throwing the ball over 2 guys that are just slicing and dicing up the opposing team's defense in Dobbins and Edwards, and they just went away from it like they didn't want to win. I don't
get it.
At the end of the day, it's bad play calling, it's bad coaching that ended up costing them the game. The Cleveland Browns did end up beating the Baltimore Ravens 13-3.
Yep.
13-3.
Such a really bad game.
Yeah, in the meat game, the game in between the 2 other games. But Deshaun Watson saved his day. Donovan Peoples-Jones got the lone touchdown, which I was excited for. I was torn all week of starting in one league, Jalen Waddle or Donovan Peoples-Jones. I ended up playing them both. I took Jerry Jeudy out of the lineup because of Rippon throwing him the ball there. So
yeah, you can't trust, honestly, man.
yeah. I
He's
still
going
think
up that
he's gonna
3 touchdown
see
game.
some targets though, right? Judy's gonna see some targets, but
It's
Sutton's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's some big names out there. Dolchitz out. I played Swift and
Dolchich is
B-Rob.
out?
No. Dolchitz is in.
Oh,
He
okay.
should be seeing a big game. Yeah.
I was like, what?
I played DeAndre Swift and Brian Robinson over J.K. Dobbins. Still think it's going to work out in my favor. Yeah, it should. Swift should continue to have decent outings. He was a little on the fence last week with his production. He wasn't that great, but if the Lions want to do anything versus the New York Jets today, you got to run the ball, man, because passing is just – I know you got the guys that can get open. I know you got Jared Goff, the second coming of Jared Goff there, but recipe for success there for the Lions. You got the shirt, just do it. They're gonna have to run the ball, and DeAndre Swift could be a big part of today's game plan. Still going to be hard to play Dobbins next week for me over Brian Robb. I mean, I'm okay starting Dobbins over Robinson, man. He's more explosive. He's involved in the pass game, so.
I mean, if we look at the trend, if you look at what Dobbins is doing this year, and you look at Dobbins 2 years ago to his rookie year, he had the exact same script.
Yep.
People like you, if you dropped him, I mean, shame on you. If you kept him, you're like, hey, this is my guy I drafted in the, what would you say, 3rd to 5th round, maybe 6th round, depending on how deep he went because of the injury. He's 2 weeks removed, about to be 3 weeks out of an injury. I think this is it. Like it keeps saying, I can't hit it on the head more. This guy will win you leagues. J.K. Dobbins is back. It's 2 more games. That's it. 2 games. You need him to put you up whatever he does the last 2 games.
2 weeks.
That's it. Your semifinals and your championship. This guy will do it. He will bring you home the bacon. And this is the most run-heavy team. And Lamar is coming back off an injury. They will not run Lamar as hard as they did before. J.K. Dobbins should see 15 to 20 carries the next 2 games.
Yeah, he's got Atlanta and then closes it out with Pittsburgh. So,
chalk it up.
Yeah. Pick 2, half PPR, Albert Marroquin, Christian Kirk, Christian Watson, or Chris Olave.
The 3-season life.
Olave's got the Falcons. Watson's got the Rams. And Christian Kirk is playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, yep.
Give me Christian Watson. I don't know why. That kid's a touchdown machine. I think Aaron Rodgers in this cold weather, the West Coast kids don't know how to hang out in the north. We saw the Miami boys come up and get, frozen out. I mean, there was a good game, but I just feel like you go into Green Bay, you go into Lambeau Field and it's freezing cold. You're coming from the West Coast. Baker Mayfield knows how to play, but we're not going to see the same Baker Mayfield that we saw with the Raiders game.
Yeah. Maybe. You never know with Baker, man.
No,
he got slimed. The Nickelodeon Player of the Week, the MVP, getting slimed. But I agree with you. And then Kirk or Olave?
I got to go Christian Kirk on this one. I like Chris Olave. I just don't trust the Red Rifle. I don't trust Andy Dalton. I know it's your team. That's your.
I don't trust him either, brother.
You got to ride with them somehow. But I'm not riding with Andy Dalton throwing Chris Olave the rock. Chris Olave is going to be great with whoever they go with next year. But I think Christian Kirk and Christian Watson. So the 2 Christians are going to make your day holy.
There you go. For me, I'm going Watson and Olave there. I like what the Saints do when they do throw Chris Olave the ball. Most of the times it's a stretch play. It's downfield. Good opportunity for big boom and points, and the Falcons just aren't that great versus opposing wide receivers. We all know what Dallas's defense can do against opposing teams. But I'm okay starting Olave there. A little bit of an injury report for that Saints and Falcons game. Marcus Mariota is out. Desmond Ridder making his debut for the Atlanta Falcons. What are you expecting, Ryan Potts? What are you expecting out of the rookie?
Nothing. Honestly, it's your Saints. Yeah, I've seen you guys shut down my guy 3 different times. 9 points. 13 or 16 points. I think Ridder for his first game, it's a good, it'll be a good learning experience, but I think he's going to struggle against a stout defense. Dennis Allen knows, hey, it's a rookie quarterback. We can kind of have our way with him. It's not going to be pretty in Atlanta. I think the Saints, and I get caught saying this because every time it happens, it's the opposite. They should,
So
they
praise him,
should,
please praise
yes,
him.
they should take out the Atlanta Falcons with ease. This should not be a hard game for the Saints unless they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen. I've lost a lot of money on the Saints when they were supposed to win and they lose. So
It's heartbreaker. Juwan Johnson, questionable. He's expected to play. Adam Troutman as well, questionable. Is expected to play. Marshawn Lattimore is expected to play. PJ Williams is out with the knee injury for the Saints. Other than Marcus Mariota for the Falcons, everyone else is a go. Kmet or Dulcich this week, and should I drop one for a handcuff stash? I'm rolling Dulcich this week for the Denver Broncos. I know Russell Wilson is out. Cortland Sutton is also out. KJ Hamler is out. There isn't much for Brett Rippon to pass to outside of Jerry Jeudy. So I just think Dulcich is going to be that safety blanket for Rippon. On the Chicago side, though, Justin Fields has literally no one to throw to. I mean, he's got Equimenius St. Brown. I don't even know who the other guy
Byron
is.
Pringle.
Byron Pringle.
Velus
And then he's
Jones.
Velus Jones, the senior rookie. I mean, he's older than his quarterback. But so Kmet's interesting. I don't necessarily like the matchup versus the Packers. Packers are allowing an average of 6 points to opposing tight ends on the season. Their linebacker core is getting a little more healthy. Quay Walker's there. Devondre Campbell's back for the Packers. So I'm expecting the Packers to not let Justin Fields throw the ball that much. I think they're going to.
Wait, what? Philly, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Philly.
I was
Philly,
like, wait
Philly.
a minute.
yes, Philly. Packers play the Rams. My bad. I don't expect Philly to let Justin Fields throw that ball. They might bait him into throwing the ball a lot. I just don't see a lot happening versus the Eagles. The Eagles are even better than the Packers versus the tight ends. 5.38 on average. So even better. The tight ends are not producing that much versus the Eagles. So I'm not expecting Kmet to have that great of a day. The Eagles can get at you with the front four. So give me Dulcich. Give me Dulcich there.
Now you say that. Now I took your advice from last week. I picked up the Packers defense for this week, and I dropped the Vikings defense. Thank God. Now Justin Fields has a matchup that you said is going to be a tough one. Do you start? What are the three guys you would start over Justin Fields this week that aren't the mainstream guys? Like what did you start Brady over Fields this week because Cincinnati, you think, is more susceptible to the defense collapsing than Philadelphia is to Justin Fields? Because if they shut down his run game, I mean, what is Justin Fields going to do? Like, we know he can throw, but it's not going to be like one of those high scoring games. And in a playoff game, do you take the risk of starting Fields? Like, hey, listen, he's almost matchup proof. The rush, it's kind of a good combination with the pass, or do I go with someone else that has more upside?
I mean, there's not too many guys that are in plus matchups that you would start over Justin Fields. I'm kind of stuck as well. I'm in a 2 QB league where it's Justin Fields, Tom Brady, or Derek Carr that I'm torn between. But all guys are not in that great of matchups. So
right.
I'm going to lean Justin Fields. Like, there's not too many other guys. If I'm looking, Derek Carr's facing New England, not a great matchup. Jared Goff's got the Jets. Jared Goff's been producing as a QB1, but he's playing the Jets. Jets got one of the best pass defenses alone in the league. Are you starting Zach Wilson? Probably not. Maybe I would pivot towards Aaron Rodgers this week versus the Rams over Justin Fields if he's available. But other than that, man, there's not too many great matchups. Like I'm looking at the guys now that are still available that haven't played already, and it's shaky. None of these guys I would really start over Justin Fields. So But good luck on that one. Sit Ramondre, also Fields or Burrow? Gonna go Burrow.
I would go Burrow, and I wouldn't. I don't know, man. Ramondre Stevenson's injury was very. I'd
It's
rather
game
you.
time.
Yeah, and I'd rather you be out like when in the game. I don't want the guy to come back unless it's like a probable injury. It's like, oh, he's hurt, but he's not really hurt where he can play. Like he came back, tested the ankle, and it was just he couldn't go in that Arizona Cardinals game on Monday. So I think, and I hate to say it because I know it's playoff weekend and we need our guys like this to like come out. I think I would sit Ramondre Stevenson. I just don't want you to like you just take that one snap, and Bill Belichick does not care. He will run Jack Jones as a running back all he wants.
Yeah, he's got Kevin Harris there. Pierre Strong played well last
week. It's he can give it to whoever he wants, and it doesn't matter. I think Ramondre this week is a sit, but next week if he's got if it's not as serious, I would fire him up because it's your semifinals. It's a tough. I think I don't know about you. It's a really tough round one, and if you survive those injuries from yesterday and from even Tyler Lockett's injury, I think you're good. Next week, if you make it to the second round, and I think this year's second round will be a lot more of a better matchup and higher scoring for everyone across the league. Because I'm looking at next week, I'm like, I just have to win. Just give me this win 1 week. I see all the green highlighted matchups. I'm like, just please get me to next week.
Lamar's supposed to be back next week.
Oh, I gotta get past you. I'm gonna be stressing the matchup between me and you all.
It's a good
day.
one. It's a good one. Yeah, I'm sitting Ramondre in the league where I got him. I'm sitting him for Etienne, even though I don't like the matchup versus Dallas. And Etienne's been a weekly disappointment for the last couple weeks. I don't trust the New England Patriots to give Ramondre Stevenson a full workload. If he's healthy, you're absolutely starting him in this cake matchup versus the Raiders. But it's hard to do, man. When if you lose, there's no tomorrow. There's no next year, week, right? It's next year. Toronto Maple Leafs slogan, always next year, maybe next year.
Listen, man, I'm sorry about that. That's gotta be the biggest heartbreak right now.
I'm not a big hockey guy, so I'm good. Some more injuries of note. Kenny Pickett out for the Pittsburgh Steelers in their game versus the Carolina Panthers. Oof. Mitch Trubisky expected to get the start for the Steelers, so adjust your lineups as so. I think that I'm keeping Deontay Johnson where I got him ranked this week. Mid wide receiver 2. He's still going to see his targets. I'm probably dropping George Pickens a little bit. On the Panthers side, DJ Moore is expected to play as well as Laviska Shenault. For the Eagles versus the Chicago Bears, Chase Claypool is out, most likely out for rest of season, according to head coach Matt Eberflus for the Chicago Bears. So again, Justin Fields has absolutely nobody to pass to in a game versus the Eagles, whose secondary is almost second to none. They got a good defense over there. So N'Keal Harry is questionable, so that's one target. Former first rounder N'Keal Harry. Chiefs Texans, Kadarius Toney is questionable. I've been seeing reports that they're expecting him to play. They're not expecting him to play. They don't know what he's going to do. If he plays, is it one play and then he hobbles off with his hurt hamstring? Texans side, Dameon Pierce season is over, placed on the IR. I think it was yesterday or Friday.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is out as well as Brandon Cooks. So, I mean, who's the guy? Who's the guy? Chris Moore?
No. Say the guy. You know who it is. Dameon Pierce, and it's week
Dare Ogunbowale.
No.
Rex Burkhead.
Sexy Rexy. He does it every year. Last year, we talked about it, and you even said it. Rex Burkhead's on your team is getting you 15 points.
Yeah.
What happens? It's like every year from week 1 to week 13 or 14. You don't know anything with Rex Burkhead. Oh, yeah, he's hit or miss. Come playoff time, the guy's like, hey, I just took down Dameon Pierce. It's all mine now. I dropped Dameon Pierce so sadly. I dropped Cooper Kupp sadly. I purged the IR. I saw Rex Burkhead. I'm like, snag. So I feel like I won that one, even though with Pierce. So if you got Rex Burkhead, even Dare has been really good. They did release Eno Benjamin.
Yep.
So you got to really see who's got the better of the other two. I think Rexy, though, because the receiving upside and the rushing upside.
Yep. Chris Moore as well, wide receiver for the
yeah.
Texans, should have a decent day. I just don't know what they're doing at the quarterback spot because they're rotating them in the game. You got Jeff Driscoll, you got Kyle Allen, you got Davis Mills in there. So
Throw you in there or something.
I
Like,
I
hey,
don't
who
know
wants to play
what's going
quarterback for
on.
us?
I hope you were listening to us like a couple weeks ago when we were telling you to pick up the KC team DST because they're facing Houston week 1 of the playoffs, and also the Tennessee Titans draw Houston next week.
I stashed them.
So to the guy that asked who they should stash, handcuff, if you got DST, you're dropping commit and you're picking up the Tennessee Titans for week 16. Moving on. Dallas Cowboys versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. No real big injuries here. Jake Ferguson is out, tight end for the Dallas Cowboys.
Damn.
Doesn't really hold too much fantasy relevance unless you're in a bit of a deeper league. But everyone else is expected to go. They did sign T.Y. Hilton. I'm not too sure how much grass he's going to touch today, but he's a guy. Maybe that's a guy you stash. They are expected to sign OBJ as well, but not for anything fantasy. He's expected to be part of the team for the playoff run. Trevor Lawrence did miss some practice time. He was limited during the week, but he's expected to go. Trevor Lawrence really hopped onto the fantasy scene these past few weeks, putting up big numbers. Lions, New York Jets, probably one of the most exciting games for me this week. You get to see one of the best defenses go against one of the best offenses, and that is crazy considering who the two teams are. If you're saying, oh, we got one of the best defenses versus one of the best offenses, you're maybe picturing Philly versus Kansas City, but it is not. It is the Detroit Lions versus the New York Jets. No real big, I guess the big injury for the Jets would be Mike White being out.
Damn it, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson coming into the fold. I wonder how much he paid all those 10 doctors to say Mike White cannot go. Don't give him the go. Corey Davis is out for the Jets. Quinnen Williams is questionable, and I think that'll affect a bit of their pass rush because he's been sturdy for them on that interior of their defensive line. As for the Lions, no big injuries for them heading into the week. Jameson Williams looked good last week. He got his touchdown. DJ Sharks looked good. Amon-Ra St. Brown's there. You got DeAndre Swift. You got Jamal Williams, who's kind of taken a back seat over the past few weeks. But it's a game that I'm hyped to watch. It's a game where, Zach Wilson, you're set up to come back and play the Detroit Lions, who aren't necessarily the best defensively. We just saw Kirk Cousins throw 400 yards against them last week. So if there's a spot for you to earn your starting job back, it doesn't get much better than this. If he does not play well versus the Detroit Lions today,
done.
He's done in New
York. There's
York.
no way you keep him. There's no way.
I would have loved to see Mike White
tear us apart
in this game. Because he's not afraid to sling the ball, man. And when you watch Zach Wilson on tape, he's just the hesitation is just it's wild. Are you dropping Garrett Wilson or are you dropping any of the Jets fantasy relevant players on your start? I'm starting Garrett Wilson no matter what.
It sucks because I loved Garrett Wilson. We've always been talking about it. I do like the guy. And I'm on ESPN a few days ago, and I love when ESPN does this. All week, I'm like, yes. My friends are like, oh, Mike White. Oh, damn it, Garrett Wilson. The second Zach Wilson gets the name to start, everyone's like, oh, damn, Zach Wilson starting now. GG's, Stephon. I'm like, GG's, what do you mean? I go on ESPN, they dropped his projection by 2 points. I'm like,
Garrett?
Yeah.
I'm
like, man. Sure. Get out of here with that. Like, you're going against the 32nd ranked, like, passing defense, basically scoring defense, and you're going to knock him down 2 points. I don't like that. I think Garrett Wilson comes out, and it's the Lions. They will go, and they will hit the over when it comes to points, which means there will be a lot of fantasy points that you scored. Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, DeAndre Swift, who, by the way, if you're a bettor, which a lot of people are, I am, his rush line is 26.5 yards. Ooh. 26.5 rush yards for DeAndre Swift, who's officially back. I would probably put the mortgage on that.
Yeah.
And if I don't have a house by next week and this background is all gone, well, you know what happened. And he
He
didn't
only
get
got
20.
25 yards.
Or no, he got 26 and he hit the 0.5.
Yeah.
It's the way of life.
Yeah, that's it. But the Jets also have Zonovan, Bam, Knight there in the backfield. I'm expecting him to be a part of the big part of the Jets offense this week versus the Lions. He's a guy that you're absolutely plugging into your lineups. The only guy that I'm probably dropping quite a bit, I'm not real comfortable starting, is Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the Jets. But I'm firing up Garrett Wilson. I got no worries. Zach Wilson knows he has to have a game. He has to sling that ball.
He's got to throw 3 touchdowns and 250 yards.
He's got to be efficient. He's got to have great decision making, which is funny because I watched a video, I think it was on Twitter, where a bunch of football players said, what their superpowers would be. And could you guess what Zach Wilson's was?
To be a good quarterback.
His superpower was decision making.
So he's in.
Well, I had a good chuckle at that because if you watch the tape, his decision making is definitely not that great.
It's like me saying, Stefan, what do you wish your superpower was? I just wish I could be a good fantasy football analyst. Just wish I was good. What do you mean decision making? Just go out there and just do your job.
Yeah.
Make a decision to throw the ball on time.
Don't hold on to it, man, because that Detroit Lions pass rush, they'll get to
it's
you.
No joke, but
they will get to you.
We joke, but if you let us joke around too much, we'll hurt you.
Yep.
So, I mean, Zach Wilson, you better come out there. The ball better come out of your hands in under 2.5 seconds. Don't hold it. Don't be like Kirk Cousins yesterday when he snapped the ball and he went straight down because he dropped his
he got stepped on.
Yeah, I was saying, it was so funny watching him just fall like a tree.
Yeah. Arizona, Denver, we talked about a little bit. Russell Wilson is out. Brett Rippon is expected to get the start. Marquise Brown is expected to play. Yep. Russell Wilson out. Kendall Hinton out for the Broncos, as well as Courtland Sutton. Man. It's tough, man. It's tough.
The weather is like, are these guys' bodies getting fragile?
I think it's just 15 weeks of NFL football is going to take its toll on you.
It's December too, and guys like Derrick Henry are going to start hurting when you hit those guys. So it's Are you comfortable starting a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Like, I'm not too comfortable starting Marquise Brown, but are you comfortable starting a guy like DeAndre Hopkins with Colt McCoy throwing the ball because Kyler Murray's out rest of the season? Colt McCoy is the quarterback. He's going to be throwing the ball against one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league in the Denver Broncos. Are you firing up DeAndre Hopkins? Because he would maybe James Conner as well, but DeAndre Hopkins is probably the only fantasy relevant guy for the Cardinals this week. He's got it. I mean, I don't care who's throwing him the ball. We've learned from DeAndre Hopkins in his past, it could be a freaking blind man throwing him a ball. As long as you put it within like a yard of where he should catch it, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
You look at his target rate. I mean, the last, 4 or 5 games, he's seeing an average of almost 10 targets a game. He's getting an average of almost 5 catches a game. He's getting at least 50 yards. So he's catching it. He's doing what he has to do. Colt McCoy isn't the sexiest name, but I feel like because Kyler Murray he wasn't good this year. I'm sorry. He wasn't consistent. This team was just so like up and down. And I think with Colt McCoy, it's a weird thing to say, but there's stability. At least okay, he's a pocket passer. He's smart. Colt McCoy is not a dumb quarterback. He's very football IQ friendly. So he knows the
reason why he's been in the league for this
exactly.
long, right?
And I mean, if you look at it, who else are you going to give the ball to? Who are you going to trust in game time decisions? I'm sorry, Marquise Brown has had too many drops. Rondell Moore is out. You got McBride's a rookie. I'm feeding DeAndre Hopkins the next 3 weeks, even though the season's done. I'm feeding the guy 10 to 15 targets every game. And I don't care if he catches 6 to 7 of those catches. He's going to get you the yards and get you a touchdown. I think DeAndre Hopkins is the only guy that you start. I mean, the next 2 weeks, I don't care who he's going against. I didn't get DeAndre Hopkins to sit him in any week. Yeah. And I don't, like I said, again, you give me Stevie Wonder throwing him the ball, I'll still start DeAndre Hopkins.
And we saw over the past few weeks, 2 wide receivers have good games versus the Broncos. Juju Smith-Schuster, 9 receptions, 74 yards last week. Versus the Ravens, there wasn't really a guy that got over 50 yards. Demarcus Robinson was the best pass catcher with 41 yards. You look at the Panthers versus the Broncos, where we didn't expect much of the wide receivers to do anything. DJ Moore, 4 catches, 103 yards versus the Raiders. Devontae Adams, 7 catches, 141 yards. So these guys that are hyper targeted have ended up putting up decent numbers for their fantasy managers. And then we saw Nick Westbrook-Ikine put up 119 yards as well.
It was off 3 catches, right? Like 3 catches.
Five catches, 119, okay. 2 tutties. So there's been guys that have been able to put up some decent numbers versus the Broncos. So if you got DeAndre Hopkins, you are definitely starting DeAndre Hopkins. Patriots versus the Raiders in Las Vegas. Damian Harris ruled out. Devontae Parker ruled out. Ramondre Stevenson, a true game time decision. Jacoby Myers is expected to play. On the other side, Josh Jacobs, he's been on the injury report for the past maybe 6 weeks.
The emotional roller coaster that is fantasy football. He is fantasy football.
He is RB1 on the year. He is the guy, probably the value pick of the year in most of your drafts. You picked him in the 4th, 5th round as probably the RB 12 to 15, maybe 17 in some leagues. I remember one draft I was in, a guy picked Dameon Pierce ahead of him, and I absolutely roasted him, and I was told I was crazy. Josh Jacobs played in the Hall of Fame game. They don't want to use him. They got Zamir White. They got Brandon Bolden. Josh Jacobs has got history with Brandon Bolden. And then the guy comes out, and he's been absolute electricity. One of the best trades I've made all year before this season, or I think it was like early in the season. I went to an owner with Derrick Henry and Sky Moore, and I wanted Tyreek Hill, and I was like, okay, Tyreek Hill, give me Chase Edmonds. Guy's like, no, can't have Chase Edmonds. Josh Jacobs is a bum. You can have Josh Jacobs. So I got Tyreek Hill, Josh Jacobs for Derrick Henry and Sky Moore. So needless to say, finished first.
Call the cops right now. You are going to jail for that one. What?
I finished first. I roast him in the chat all the time. He's pretty upset about it. And I'm playing him week 1 of the playoffs this week. So it's been it's pretty good.
You are evil for that. No, you're evil for that.
And then he ended up dropping Sky Moore, and I picked up Sky Moore. So I was just like, so it was just Henry Hill and Jacobs for
full circle.
Henry, yeah. So those kind of moves early in the year are the ones that are going to win you leagues.
Oh, I know some moves that are controversial that'll cause a league to go up in arms.
But so here we go. Tennessee Titans, Los Angeles Chargers. The Titans are going to be without Treylon Burks. Dontrell Hilliard, I believe, was placed on IR, so he's done for the rest of the season. And then on the other side, anyone that is fantasy relevant is playing for the Chargers. So unless you are on IDP, and Derwin James is doubtful this week.
Ooh. So question then, because you've said it every week, you say it every December, you've said it for the last 18 days in December. What is Derrick Henry's rush line against one of the worst run defenses this week? Because we know that the Chargers pass offense or pass defense is pretty good. But what does Derrick Henry do today?
I got him at 24 carries, 130.5 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
100 and what?
30.
103.
130. What? 130. That's my stat line for Mr. Derrick Henry.
Mr. December.
Yeah, Tractor Cito versus the Chargers. The Tennessee Titans need to win to keep their hopes alive for the playoffs. So, and they know that their offense is better suited when they're giving the ball to Derrick Henry. He needs at least 12 carries to get going, to feel the game, to get him moving downhill. Like, you can't be sporadic with giving him the ball. You can't give him the ball, 2-3 times on this drive, no times on this drive. Hilliard's out, so he doesn't have to worry about Hill. You don't have to worry about Hilliard, taking any kind of snaps away for him. The Chargers rank as the 5th worst team against opposing running backs, what you brought up already. Running backs are averaging 20.46 fantasy points 4. They're averaging 129.46 yards on about 23 carries, and they're averaging about a touchdown. So the average per rush is sitting at 5.52 yards. So Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 130 yards, 2 tutties. He's not. It's not a crazy stat line
It's
when
not for
you're
him.
breaking down the numbers for the Los Angeles Chargers. So he's due for a big game here in Week 1 of the fantasy playoffs.
His line's only at 100.5. Oh, and actually, Stevenson has a good chance to play against Vegas. So what are you doing then? You need a player. You need a running back. It's a 4:00 game. You have until 1:00 to make this decision because it'll screw you over.
Mhm.
Are you starting Ramondre Stevenson knowing you need a win, or are you sitting him for someone that's on the bench or on the waiver that you think is better? And who is that guy?
I'm playing him, man. I'm playing him. There's not much out there that I would roll with.
You'd rather roll with what he can. You rather roll with the thought of what he can get you than the stress of what some other guy that you will have no confidence in getting
Yep.
can get you because he's a stud. I mean,
Yep.
you have him in our league. I'm hoping he's out. I'm hoping he doesn't do anything. But then in other leagues, of course, I'm hoping the guy freaking goes off. So, but I'm just scared. Like it's always
the
that
conundrum.
PTSD. That is what fantasy football is. It's like, do I play the guy that's been doing good, the 10th PPR back this year, the guy gets 6-7 catches, or is Bill Belichick and then just start Pierre Strong and just break your hearts? I'm trust issues. I've watched New England back in the day, Lawrence Maroney, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, Stephen Ridley, and they would sit there. The guy has a hot hand, and they go, you know what? Take the night off. We got this. Let's get Pierre Strong in this boy. I'm gonna roll with you. I really hope it doesn't bite me in the back, and I just really hope that Stevenson comes out and has a good game.
Yeah, I own a lot of Ramondre, and I'm playing him wherever I got him. If he's rolling, I'm putting him in, man. As good as the other two guys looked, there was a reason why for most of the season, Ramondre Stevenson was the workhorse back for the New England Patriots. He looks good. He catch the ball. My only worry is early exit, reduced snap share, because the Patriots know what the other guys can do when they tout the rock. So, but I'm playing him. I'm playing him where I got him, man.
Also, you start. So I'm in a conundrum. I like the word. It's the word of the day. I have a league. It's an MFL. It's MFL league. So it's like it's a really, really weird league. It's really low scoring. I have Darren Waller that was dropped. It's like I said, it's really weird. You have to like pick up a guy and drop another.
Yeah,
he's back, but like I can't drop a guy without having to pick up the same exact position. Are you starting Darren Waller, or do I go out and get Greg Dulcich?
That's a good,
because Waller could have came back last week. It's not like, and then Dulcich, like you said, everyone's out. It's kind of like you have to feed the guy. But I'm kind of stuck. Where do I start Waller because he's good, or Dulcich because his consistency?
Yeah. Oh, that's I can see why you're thinking about it quite a bit. And I'm rolling Dulcich, brother. I'm rolling the dice with Dulcich there for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
The Raiders also are getting Hunter Renfrow back. They got Matt Collins there. They got Devontae Adams, of course, there. But I'm rolling Dulcich, man.
Okay.
I'm rolling.
I'm gonna stick him in. I'm doing it literally right now. I'm gonna stick him in just because you said it. And if I get the win, I will. I don't know. I'll do something. It's a big league for me. So if I win this, I'm already in the money. It's
a tough spot because you know what Waller can do. He hasn't really done it all year with the injuries and everything else, but you know what he's capable of.
Is this the first time I think Waller and Adams have been on the same field fully? Or it's been for a long time since they haven't, but
it's been a while.
Okay, hopefully it doesn't. I don't know. I'm taking Dulcich. I'm going for it.
Yeah. Okay. Cincinnati Bengals, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hayden Hurst out for the Bengals. Tyler Boyd is questionable. He's a game time decision. I don't think he's going to roll. T. Higgins is going to play. Hopefully, they said he was going to play last week, and they lost him in the warm-ups. That absolutely burned
that's
a ton
the biggest
of people.
fear in my life. My biggest
I got to start him. You can't sit T. You can't
It's like,
sit T. And
yeah.
then,
He's
you
like, oh,
know,
I'll just sit. Like, the Browns game on Halloween was
yeah.
the epitome. I was like, I need you to get me 3 points. Gets
Yeah.
whatever he got, and he was out the rest of the game. And I have PTSD ever since.
Yeah.
Greg Dulcich, right? We're in.
There you go. Good luck, brother. For the Bucks, Julio Jones is questionable. I think he's missed a lot of practice or is limited throughout the week.
Yep.
Other than that, not too many other fantasy relevant guys on those rosters that are injured. New York Giants, Washington Commanders. These two tied the last time they played, keeping their playoff hopes alive. This week, are we going to see the same? I don't know. Carson Wentz is off the IR,
Oh
but he's not
God,
starting. It is Taylor Heineke's team.
we're gonna see Carson Wentz today.
You think so? You think
We're
you're going
gonna
to see
see
some of
Carson.
Carson maybe when the Washington Commanders are up by 50?
No, it's gonna. I'm telling you, I have a feeling we have not seen the last of Prince Charles. Like I really like. I don't. And it irks my soul because I know he's in the either Heineke gets like hit once, too hard, then Carson Wentz comes in. I'm like, oh God, because I have Washington actually losing that game because we need them to lose so the Lions can sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And listen, 6 wins. It's like the Super Bowl for us right now. Super Bowl in Detroit.
Big game, buddy. Big guy. I had them losing against the Vikings when I was breaking down their schedule. I said, okay, I have them losing one game, and that was versus the Vikings, and they won that one game. So all they got to do, beat the Jets, beat the Packers, and then I forget their last game there.
Wow, that's actually a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And I think they face the Bears.
Oh God, yeah.
Jets, Packers, Bears.
So wait, is that week 17 for the Bears and Lions is week 17?
Let me check.
Because if it is, people, you got to take that as a thing because that would be a great week to have Justin Fields, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and all them boys.
So they got Jets, Carolina, Chicago, and then Green Bay.
Okay, yeah. That will whoever makes it to that third round, enjoy that
Finals,
Lions,
Jared Goff, QB1 league winner, Jared Goff. Injury report for Giants and Commanders. Not too much to report on. Daniel Bellinger, tight end, is expected to roll. Everyone else is pretty much non-fantasy relevant. And then we move on to the Monday nighter. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Donald's out. John Wolford's out. Are we going to see a situation where Baker Mayfield gets another win? I mean, if the Lions lose versus the Jets and if Baker Mayfield beats the Packers here, I mean, it's a down bad week for the Lions. Would you agree?
Please don't put that into the world. Don't do this. If I have to win, and like I say this every time I get a chance, I don't like Baker Mayfield. I never did. I'm one of his biggest haters. I openly will say that. What he did to the Raiders, I couldn't believe it. Because now he's relevant for another week. He was this close to being gone.
I love football, man. I love football.
I do too, but this is if he goes in Green Bay, he goes into the North, goes and sits there and just takes out the king of the North, which is, not Jon Snow, but it's Aaron Damn Rodgers. I'm gonna feel some type of way. I tell you that right now. If I see Baker go in there on Monday night, just know that somewhere, sometime, I'm gonna be crying in a corner. Like I don't know if you've seen that show Arrested Development.
Yep.
You're sitting there with a bar of soap. Because I took Green Bay's defense off your account. Like he's like, take their defense. I took them in Tennessee for the next 2 weeks. Lock that up. I'm just hoping that Green Bay does their job. I don't want to cry on a Monday night because I took the Green Bay defense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm comfortable starting the Green Bay defense there, but
I mean, it's like you said, Baker Mayfield. There's no Cooper Kupp. There's no nothing.
Ben Skronik.
He's Cooper Kupp. He's like the dollar store to Cooper Kupp. Like, there's Cooper Kupp that you go to like Bed Bath and Beyond, and there's like the dollar store version of what you want to get. And Ben Skronik is good enough, but
Ben
like
Skronik. Tyler Higbee there. Cat Akers has been a big part of that offense.
Tutu Atwell.
I
picked him up too. I don't know if he's good.
But that's the slate for this Sunday, week 15. Week 1 of the fantasy playoffs is here. Stefan, you got a lot of buys?
I'm in 6 leagues right now. I have had 0 bye weeks. I have gotten 3 of them
Ooh.
stolen, 1 because of you. Yeah, yeah, and that's why I'm okay with playing you because I'm gonna get my revenge and I'm gonna get the last laugh at the end of the day. But no, I didn't have a single bye week this year. I made 5 out of 6, but I'm having that year where it's like holy crap, I dodged a lot of bullets. I'm looking good. I
Yeah.
don't ever like to count my chickens before they hatch because they sit there and they go, oh, it's good. And the next thing you know, I faced Travis Kelce last year, 45 points. Jonathan Taylor last year, 45 points in the first round
It's
and
all
got
it
bounced.
takes, man. It's all it takes.
So I take these signs of like dodging bullets like this in the first round as a very good overall sense of a championship in 5 of the 6 leagues. Give me one. Give me one championship. I just want to win one time in some of these leagues. Some of the money. I just want the money and the trophy and the ring and the Kobe Bryant picture where you sit there with the trophy and the big jacket and the hat on, and you just looking off into the so
Where's Jonathan Taylor on the 1-1 bus scale?
Frankie, I told you not to take JT at 1. I told you it was the trap when we talked about it week 1. I said CMC was the better number 1 overall pick, and I hate to toot my own horn, but
Toot, toot. I mean, it's up there, man. It's up there. It's been disappointing. Let that be a measuring stick going into next season. Draft Justin Jefferson as the 1-1 because that guy is an absolute stud. There's I don't think there's been a back-to-back our guy that is finished as the RB1 in 1 year and then went on to finish as the RB1 the next year. So don't go chasing that last year production. So like if Josh Jacobs finishes his RB1 this year, don't overdraft him next year thinking that he's going to be able to do the same thing again. Jonathan Taylor missed a few games this year. He's been injured and you hate to see him get injured, but he let a lot of people down last night, man.
oh my god, I know. It's like because say you have him, I'm happy that like, oh my god, I dodged a bullet. But then again, it's like it does suck because you don't want to see stuff like that happening. And to your point, there hasn't been an RB1 to repeat back to back, but there have been receivers to go back to back.
Yep.
And you look at Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins a few years ago, like when those guys were balling, it was like pick them. Who do you want to take? You could take Des Bryant. When you take those running backs, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, now Jonathan Taylor, the CMC of a few years ago, like it's a curse. You have the 101. I'm sorry, I'm trading that 101 pick 9 times out of 10 nowadays.
Yeah.
I'd rather go middle round.
Give me the value.
Yeah. The more you open up the fantasy mind, the more you realize that the later picks are, like I said, those value picks, those guys that I don't need Jonathan Taylor. I didn't have a top 4 pick. I'm still in the playoffs. It's how you produce your blueprint, which I call the draft. Blueprint it, waivers, trades.
Yep.
That's the only way. And that's how you got Josh Jacobs. And that's why you are where you are. Because you shipped off Derrick Henry and got a freaking steal.
I still look over my shoulder.
Yeah, the boys, you're driving home from work and you just see the boys, you're under arrest, sir. For what? And they show you the slip for this.
I made some big moves in that league. My quarterback's Josh Allen. I got Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce.
Is this that 28-0 league you had?
No, this league.
What is that? You had to explain that to me.
That's a dynasty Devi league. So that's my squad.
That's like your okay.
Yeah, so I made some big moves. Like I made big moves trying to acquire. Like last year, I bought Jalen Hurts coming off his decent year. I sold Malik Willis for Jalen Hurts during the Malik Willis hype off season there. So like I moved Malik Willis and a couple other pieces, and I got Jalen Hurts.
Jesus.
I drafted well. I traded CJ Stroud for Mark Andrews pretty much, right? And CJ Stroud's touted to be a top end rookie pick here, depending where he goes. But even if he goes to a team where he isn't an instant starter, he's a top end rookie pick. And this was during the beginning of the year when Mark Andrews was
balling out.
Not so much now, but kind of, but still a spot where I. 28 no easy task, buddy.
I mean, people look at it, they go, "Oh, that's," but you have to understand what goes in 28 weeks.
12-man league, dynasty league, second year, Devi. I traded away some top end assets. I made some good moves to be able to put myself in that position. I'm 28-0 because there's a league median. If you play in a league median, you're not only playing your head-to-head matchup, but you're playing to beat the league average score each week. So each week, I think my average was like 195. But
So if you beat someone, so say if you beat me,
so if I beat you, I also have to score more than the league average, and I'll
and then
get
it's like 2 wins. Oh,
yeah.
I was like,
So
I was
really,
doing the math.
it's putting like the top scoring teams have a better chance to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So there's less of that luck fact. Like I'm in one league, I squeezed in at 6th. I shouldn't be in the playoffs. I have no quarterback. The super flex league. Like I have my quarterbacks are Kyle Allen, Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Sam Howell.
So nobody.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Driscoll. And I squeaked in. But in a league where there's a league median, there's no way I'm squeaking in because I'm not beating the league median every week because my scores are so low. I'm just getting lucky, right?
I mean, listen, as long as you make the dance.
Yep.
I've seen the craziest things happen.
Chip in a chair, baby. Chip in a chair. And then another league, I traded AJ Brown and Ramondre Stevenson, like I think just before the deadline. So it was like week 13 for Travis Kelce and Garrett Wilson. So, scared money don't make money. Sometimes you got to move those big pieces. And Travis Kelce won me that the first week I acquired him. He went. That's the week I think he had the
4 touchdowns, 35 yards,
yeah,
catch it.
Exactly. And he came back and I was down. I was like, I don't know if I should have made this trade. I lost.
You're regretting life.
And then boom, 4 tutties, wins me the week and secured my spot at the top of the league. So, but you never know what's going to happen. My 28-0 team got to bye this week. Next week they can be absolute dog wash and I can get beat in the semis.
So you're looking at another 6 wins essentially, right? So you might end up
no 30. More league median now. So
okay. So now it's straight up.
Yeah.
So 31-0 is what you're going for.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You better get yourself a plaque if you do.
I'm hitting up Trophy Smack. I'm gonna get a ring, maybe a belt or something.
Varsity jacket.
That's it. Varsity jacket.
Get all your players on the back of your varsity jacket.
Yeah. And then every year from here on, if I complete the streak. Every year when the last undefeated team loses, I'm going to pop a bottle of champagne.
What do you get for doing this? So like you get money every year, right? Like
yeah. That's it.
And is it like a 5-year window? Are you guys doing it until like
it's dynasty until
forever?
Yeah, until the wheels fall off, till the league folds.
Okay, I want to. That's wood. Let me know when you do finally in 2 years suffer your first loss.
Yeah.
I want to see that one because I've been watching you from what are you 20? You're 28-0.
Yeah.
And then I saw you at the 14-0 because I'm like doing the math in my head. I'm like, how's there 14 weeks in the season? I never got to ask you. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I see you 21-0. I see all of these. I'm like, what is going on? And so I had to finally just like, hey, what are you doing? When is this 28-0?
Yeah.
And I see that team, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So the team from the top down: Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, and then my super flex for most of the year has been Tyler Heineke, but I got Brock Purdy, Matt Ryan, Colt McCoy, Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco. And then on my bench, I got some big names. I got Donovan Peoples-Jones, Deebo Samuel, and then that's it. And then I got 2 Debbie guys. I got Devin Brown, QB for Ohio State, and I got Evan Stewart, wide receiver for Texas A&M.
So you were just ahead of the game, is what you were.
Yeah. I drafted well, and I made some big moves. Yeah, I sold hype. Like when I drafted Malik Willis last year. As soon as I saw the hype, I was just like, okay, I gotta move this guy while I can.
How do you not buy in the hype though? Because I was the guy who bought into the hype. Like, how do you stay away from the hype of what Malik Willis is and what he truly is as a player? Like, how do you go, you know what?
As soon as Mel Kiper said, yeah, he's my QB1, I'm selling him. So if you got Will Levis, sell Will Levis because I think Mel Kiper's got him as his QB1.
because of that one slow motion. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It was a nice looking, throw.
They can throw the deep ball when no one's covering them and everything like that. But yeah, so the guy said, I want Malik Willis. You want Jalen Hurts. They didn't believe in Jalen Hurts. I believed in Jalen Hurts. And I was like, okay, yeah.
You
good
were a
deal,
big
man.
believer in the offseason. I remember we
Yeah.
were talking about, I don't know who it was at USADIUM. And we were like, what do you mean? This guy is Hurts
Yeah,
is going to be the truth.
I remember that. Yeah, I watched a lot of Philadelphia Eagles football. I'm an Eagles fan.
12-1 later.
Sorry, buddy. But Jalen Hurts looks unreal.
He's the truth. This guy is going to beat Philadelphia.
A buddy of mine, we put in a 2 QB league. He's got Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts as his 2 QB.
That should be illegal. You should deduct
him. It's
like
unstoppable at that point. Like
they got 70 points a game just off of them. You
it's them too, man.
You just go into the week. All right, I'm down 70-0, but he didn't play it. It's Josh Allen and Hurts. I'm down 70-0.
Right. Yeah, see you later. You're just printing money at that point. But Stefan, that's it for us this week. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. If you like the stream, make sure you hit the like icon, hit the subscribe icon, download the uSTADIUM app. Takes are rolling. It is the 12 days of takes miss. You've already missed out on a few, so make sure you're downloading that app to get in on the remaining days of takes miss. There's been double deposit bonuses, and not even first time bonus, not even first time deposit, any deposit with the takes miss. You're getting in and you're rolling there. There's going to be a promo take posted sometime today, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. The download links are in the description, so whether you got Android, you got an Apple product, make sure you're downloading that uSTADIUM app. You're hopping in on the takes, you're getting it on the teams pages of your favorite teams. But the takes feature is, for me, where it's at, making takes like, head coach gets fired. You can do all kinds of different things with it. You can be the guy that sets up the lines. So, if I can put a take out there right now, Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 130 yards, and 2 tutties. If you agree, you're buying in on the agree side. You're betting the amount of points that person who made the take made it worth. And if you disagree, you're hopping on the other side. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, whatever side wins splits the pot of points. So make sure you are hopping in some of those takes. If you do get in, screenshot it, send it to me, send it to Steph, tag uSTADIUM on Twitter so we can see what you're in on. Stefan, let them know where they can find you, brother.
Right down here. Anything you search up right here, this name, and you'll find me. You'll see all my smack talk. I just want to wish everyone a good luck in the first round. If you had, some injuries yesterday, I feel bad for you. If you didn't, the fantasy gods are looking upon you. Good luck to everybody. I don't know if we're gonna have the show next week because it is Christmas.
Yeah. Maybe we try to fit it earlier in the week, possibly.
If not, we'll do something. But we will be here to help you win your fantasy football championship.
Yeah.
So week 17, I will make sure we're here. But next week might be like in the middle of the week kind of a thing, just so you guys have some kind of idea of what to do, so we don't leave you high and dry and hanging like, oh no, I made it to the second round. What do I do now? And you're looking for us and we're nowhere to be found. We'll make something happen. That way you guys aren't left alone. A little Christmas gift.
Yes, sir. And I was talking to producer Splash, who's with us every morning. I know it's early for him, and we were talking about the Christmas Day game. And it's not a good one. So we dubbed it the coal game because we're all getting coal for Christmas with that one. But you guys enjoy your week. Good luck. Week 15, playoffs week 1. We've been waiting for this. It's sad because it's almost over. There's only a couple weeks left of fantasy football until the XFL starts, and degenerates like us are drafting.
We're doing a league. We're doing a league.
Are drafting an XFL league. But that's it for us. We hope you guys have a good week, and may the fantasy gods treat you well. And the guys with buys, hopefully everyone comes out unscathed.
We're coming for you guys. You guys with those buys? Ones that didn't get those buys, and we got gypped by one. We're coming for you guys.
Good luck, Steph, except for your match.